Hello and welcome in to another F1 Gamer race broadcast on iRacing here, sponsored by Player One Sim Gear. We are at the phenomenal Road Atlanta here this evening in the F4s. It's not a series we have featured on the race broadcast as yet, so we should be in for a treat. We've got the FIA Formula 4 Challenged and it's the fixed series. 19 degrees air temperature, 33 degrees track temperature, 93% precipitation. We've got a decent breeze here. No rain on the forecast, so we should be dry for the duration of this race. Now we do have some heavy hitters on track this evening. We do have the ever-present Oliver Fennell. Ollie is taking a break from IMSA for this IMSA at Nürburgring GP this week for this F4 race at Road Atlanta. So hopefully we're in for a bit of a treat here. Okay, time to grid up. Running through the grid for this exciting F4 race. Felipe Giuliotto takes pole position. Simon Schranz in P2 running out the front row. Kiyoshi Umegaki P3, David Del Cerro P4. We've got Gabriel Ivanov P5, Joaquin Martinez P6, Daniel Farr P7, Scott Tripney P8, Henry AP Oliade P9, Ian Purcell P10, Levi Van Straten 11th, Borja Sanchez P12. Running through the order, we've got Oliver Fennell P13, Matthias Henriksen P14, Albert Enrique P15, Josh Peters P16, Raul Aguilar P17. We have Colton Piazza P18 and Mohan Ravi P19. Christopher G. Lees rounds out our grid, and we have plenty of cars on track. So it's time to go racing as we wait for... Oh, where are we? Here we are with our grid. I think we may still have our front... Oh, we've got P3. We're waiting on Kiyoshi Umegaki and Matthias Henriksen and Colton Piazza to join the grid before we can get this one underway. I'd say concerns for the field most likely is car number 2. Gabriel Ivanov in a Red Bull livery usually doesn't bode well for the rest of the grid. I'm being unfair. Let's see how we go. Okay, let's see where we can get the best view of the starting grid. We've got Felipe Giuliotto at the front of the grid. We have the lights. 5 red lights. They disappear and we get the grid underway. Giuliotto gets a good takeoff. We've got a slow car at the rear of the grid, Colton Piazza. And Giuliotto leads the grid away into turn 1. We can almost immediately go back in the grid and just see how everyone files through. Looks like everyone's gotten away fairly clean. Oh, too wide through the S's. Oh, they file through. Nicely done. Nicely done indeed. Very clean for an F4 race start, especially the standing starts that we have here. Very nice. The field comes through and everyone looking in very good shape. We've had David Del Cerro go off track momentarily. We're riding on with Matthias Henriksen as he goes up the inside of Scott Tripney and takes the place away into the chicane. Nicely done there. Nicely done. Goes a bit wide on the exit, but should hang on to that place. Very nice move indeed. We've got Giuliotto under a bit of pressure here from Simon Schranz for the lead of the race. First lap of 125.834, which is absolutely rapid. It's always good to remind everyone at this point that This is an official race. This is not a special event, so we are racing for iRating. We're racing for those sweet, sweet iRating gains. We're not racing... Oh, Ollie goes through on car number 14. 14 fights back. We've got Borja Sanchez fighting back, going to the left. So we're coming to the steep climbing right-hander. Basically gets through and holds the spot quite comfortably. I will that. We have some action here involving Raul Aquil. What has happened? Ooh, just missed the S's. Missed turn 2 at the bottom of the hill. Oh, rejoins in a very precarious position there. Backs out into the S's, but that looked precarious for a fair while there. As we come back to live pictures, Borja Sanchez has lost another position to Josh Peters, the Australian. So Sanchez filing down the order a little as we settle into this one. And track back to our leaders, because this is an exceptional fight for P1, 2 and 3. Also got a very good fight between P5, 6 and 7 as well, but we're going to hang with the front 3 cars for the moment. And take a look at the gearbox from Felipe Giuliotto. Around a 0.2 of a second buffer to Simon Trance, and Simon Trance holding about 0.3 of a second to Kiyoshi Umegaki. And will we see Trance going for a bit of a move here? No, popping out of the slipstream to have a look and filling Giuliotto's mirrors. Is there any kind of dive into the chicane? There is not. They file through single file. Oh, and I thought that might have been a move for a moment. Differing lines coming down the hill. Everyone very well behaved at this point. This is very good to see. Very sensible driving from these 3 up front. Something you would absolutely expect from Giuliotto being a 6.8k driver. Trance 5.8k, Umegaki 4.2k. These guys have not just woken up and decided to go racing. Joaquin Martinez has entered the pit lane. I wonder if there are any telltale signs of why that might be. No, maybe didn't have a bathroom break before the race and had to take care of business, but we come back to the battle for the lead of the race, and you can just see how much these guys have skipped away from the field. Really, really good to see a 3.6 second gap opening up between Ivanov in 4th and Umegaki in 3rd. Ivanov breaking away slightly from Matthias Henriksen and Henry Oliede, and Henry goes and has a bit of a look. Matthias Henriksen has kept that position very nicely. Look to the top of the hill. Everyone settling into this race very nicely. We don't have too many gaps within the field. We do have a move here as Sanchez goes through on Piazza. Piazza fights back, goes around the outside. Great move, Colton Piazza in P14. That was a fantastic move. We come back to the lead and the battle for P1, 2 and 3. These 3 cannot leave each other alone. It is a fantastic fight. Fair, fast, and feisty at the front of the field. We can just see lap on lap. Oh, as Gabriel Ivanov goes off. Ooh, does very well to hold on to that and maintain the 4th position. Very nicely done. Has put them under pressure. They had about a 0.9 of a second gap over Matthias Henriksen, and now they are right back on his tail. The curse of the Red Bull livery clearly not doing him any harm whatsoever at the moment. It's been a very good race from Ivanov, bar that small mistake earlier. Oh, a move from Henriksen up the hill, goes to the inside, tries for the switchback as they come downhill now through the S's. This is going to be very, very interesting. He's all over the back of Ivanov. Through the S's, a very tight, very fast section of Road Atlanta, and they've done extremely well. In the background there, we had Basic Ollie going off track momentarily. Ooh, gets all kinds of sideways. Avoids the barriers, so he lives to fight another day, but this has tumbled him down the order. Let's see if he was able to keep hold of P16. Ooh. Oh, Christopher G. Lees goes through while he fights back. Very nicely done. Obviously had a bit more confidence getting up to speed quickly despite the spin there, which is very good to see. Great livery on that Basic Ollie car. Ooh, we have some movement behind as well. Car 9, David Del Cerro going back past Mohan Ravi. We'll go back to live pictures and the unfolding battle here for what is this? 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. Oh my goodness, 3 wide up the hill. Oh, Ivanov goes back through to the... Oh, he's sideways. He's still got it though. He's still at the front of this pack. But Oliade has gone side by side, taking the fight to Ivanov. They are going side by side in one of the fastest, fiercest parts of this track. And they've all done exceptionally well. Ivanov back at the front of this queue. Oliade going through past Matthias Henriksen. Just brilliant battling here from these guys. That was fantastic action. We have no change for the lead at the front of the field, though this gap is balancing around 1/10 of a second between Giuliotto, Schranz and Umagaki. It's reaching boiling point here, and let's see if they can keep it under wraps, or if it reaches the point of no return. I haven't seen any touching so far between these three. But all it takes is one slight mistake from one of these drivers, and they open the door ever so slightly for their competitors to just have a sniff, just have a go at the opportunity that presents itself. You can see some of the debris being kicked up by Giuliotto there as he tips some tyres into the grass. This is phenomenal racing. We have 2 separate races in pit lane. We've got... What have we got here? Albert Enrique went off track. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's a big one. Oh, that is a huge incident. Let's see what's triggered this. If it was just Enrique by himself, he's coming up to turn 1. Let's see if we can... Oh, dips. Oh, that's a big one. Oh, let's hope he's okay for recuperating in pit lane. It looked like he just dipped his left rear tyre onto the grass, and that was all it took to really just take that car out of control and over into the barriers. We've got Mohan Ravi here. Ooh, just losing it all on his own after the S's. Gathers it back up, avoids the walls, lives to fight another day. We'll come back to live pictures here where we've got Ericsson leading this. No, we've got Oliade still leading this group. Ericsson behind in P5. And these guys once again battling hammer and tongs to try and get to the front of this pack to be able to essentially be released to go hunt down, or at least make an effort to hunt down P3 in this race. But you never know, maybe they're just having fun in this battle, because it's a brilliant one. Really, really awesome. Gabriel Ivanov, who was once a comfortable P4, is back. Oh, and we're going to have to interrupt this momentarily. for Ian Purcell. Stopped on track. Can we potentially see if there's anything that's contributed to this? I feel there might be something in the water here. Maybe we've got another racer who just either didn't put enough fuel in the car. Oh, here we go, back to these fantastic battles. Either didn't put enough fuel in the car, or yeah, just had enough. Maybe Road Atlanta's just not their favorite track. Oh, we've got Henriksen. Ivanov has gone back to the head of this queue, which is fantastic to see. Oh, Basic Ollie's not happy. Basic Ollie's absolutely not happy with something. Let's see if we can see what's going on here. Comes through the chicane. We've got number 9. Oh, David Del Cerro just giving Ollie a helping hand into the grass there to take away P12 in this one. Ollie not happy whatsoever and making his displeasure known on radio comms. Meanwhile, Gabriel Ivanov... Oh, and actually, we may just skip over to the battle for the lead. Felipe Giuliotto still holds this, but we've got... This is very interesting. We've got Kiyoshi Umegaki right on his gearbox. Umegaki was actually P3 for the majority of this race. Well, the 13 minutes through this so far. But Simon Trance has dropped back to P3, and he's dropped back to about 1.6 seconds behind. So either Umegaki's really showing his true pace now and taking it to the leader, or we've had a bit of a tangle with Simon Trance just dropping off there ever so slightly. We'll have a look and see if we can see... Open up our battle box here. See if we can see. Yeah, okay, so Umegaki's not necessarily hammering down the door to get to Giuliotto. It is very interesting though how quickly Trance just dropped off. I haven't seen anything pop up on my timings. Oh, you know what? You know what? We've got something to look at here. This, oh no, this isn't even the first one actually. I say nothing popped up. I actually had a couple of... No, getting a bit scruffy, but I don't think there's been an incident there that has dropped Trance back. I was going to say into the clutches of P4 Gabriel Ivanov, but no, there's a big gap there. Umegaki's now absolutely all over the gearbox of Felipe Giuliotto, so we may just go on board here onto the gearbox. Oh, I think it's only a matter of time until there is a move. There's a move to take the lead away from the Brazilian. Oh, we're getting very close. There is so much respect in this one. It is fantastic to see. A load of respect between these drivers. Really, really awesome driving. We'll go on board with Kiyoshi Umegaki, unfortunately, as he's just dropped off ever so slightly, but with the slipstream we may see at the bottom of the hill into the braking zone, we may have enough energy to go up the inside, but you can kind of hear there's a slight lift off the throttle, so it seems he's biding his time, being as patient as possible to make the move at the right time. Either that, or he could be content with P2 in this one. It would be worth about 65 I rating to Umegaki, whereas Giuliotto, as you can see in the timing tower, only stands to gain around 30 I rating, even for winning this awesome F4 race. Some amazing skill being put on display here by these guys. Really, really awesome to see. You can see Sector 1, Umegaki a little quicker than Giuliotto. Trance actually the same sector time, a dead even sector time with Giuliotto in the first sector, both quicker than the Brazilian in the second. So we could find him coming under fire here. You can sort of see out the corner of the screen. Schrantz is coming back at these two. He's 1 second flat down on Umagaki at the moment. You can see he has re-entered chat. He's back into the conversation. He should be with them in the next lap or two. We are, though, 3 minutes from time here in this FIA F4 fixed session at Road Atlanta, so time is running out for anyone to make these moves, these all-important moves to better their position and better their IR haul in this one. Umagaki again just sticking in the slipstream, hiding behind the gearbox of the number 1 car. We'll come back to this battle momentarily because we have Matthias Hansen going all around the outside of Gabriel Ivanov. What a move for P4 in this one. These guys have been battling literally since the green light in this race. They have been going at it this hard throughout the entire session. And we're going to need to come back to that one. As I said, we'd come back to this one. Oh, Giuliotto made a mistake. I mentioned it earlier. That's all it was going to take. Made it the only mistake that we've seen him make in this session so far. And it was pounced upon by Umagaki, who now takes the race lead. And you would think Simon Schrantz is going to try and take advantage of that vulnerability shown by Felipe in P2. Go back and make sure that we have a good view of this, because Simon Schrantz is now all over the gearbox. We've got the white flag. So we have 1 lap to go. We're going to follow this battle because we cannot take our eyes off it. Schrantz has just set the fastest time of the session so far with a 1:19.75. Quicker than anyone achieved in qualifying. An absolutely phenomenal lap there by Schrantz. He's absolutely on the attack. Felipe Giuliotto, though, is not giving this one up without a fight. Umagaki holding firm, putting his car exactly where he needs to fend off any other potential threats. But we'll just wait and see what Schrantz is able to do here after setting a purple lap. Oh, Felipe Giuliotto is weaving a little. I think they're all weaving to get. Yes. Oh, that's fantastic. Gamesmanship by all 3 of them to try and break the toe to the car behind. Umagaki goes ultra defensive. We'll try and get a wide angle so we can actually see exactly what happens there. Umagaki. Giuliotto. Felipe Giuliotto saw the defense coming. Absolutely telegraphed what he was going to do and takes the win. Schrantz takes P2. Umagaki, who was in pole position that entire lap and did everything correct. The final chicane was just 1 corner too far. Oh, unbelievable. Matthias Henriksen takes P4. We potentially have an issue here with Gabriel Ivanov because he was holding down P4. Oh, that's Henriksen. Oh, I believe that's... Oh. He gets going again. There is plenty being said on radio comms after that one. Oh boy, that was a feisty one. We also had Mohan Ravi. Apologies for jumping around a little bit. We had Ravi go off. No, that was all good. Breathless. An absolutely breathless finish. Wow. Okay. How do we wrap this one up? Somehow, we have arrived at the conclusion of this FIA Formula 4 Challenge fixed session at Road Atlanta. We are on iRacing for an official race broadcast, fighting for that crucial I rating. Felipe Giuliotto controlled that race. controlled it for the absolute vast majority of the running, lost the lead coming into the last lap of that one to Kiyoshi Umegaki. Simon Trance was at 1.5 seconds back, fought his way back to be in contention in that group of three that broke away by 15 seconds to the rest of the field, quite easily, quite comfortably, with their skill level during that race. It all came to the final chicane, and Kiyoshi Umegaki made a slight error, then went ultra defensive into the chicane, and it meant that Felipe Giuliotto could use all his skill and experience to perfectly time his exit through the chicane, and then take the inside line through the downhill last right-hander to take the win. So it's Giuliotto who comes out on top. Simon Trance, from that mistake from Umegaki, number 5, was able to sneak through to the second step on the podium. Kiyoshi was able to hold down P3, but would be gutted, I'm sure, to miss out on the win there, or even P2. Matthias Henriksen, bit of controversy, and we will, after we wrap up the results, we will go and have a look at that and just see what happened there. I will say it looked like a thick helping of netcode that spun around Gabriel Ivanov, who unfortunately finishes in P8 after that one. So Matthias Henriksen, P4, Henry Oliede, P5, Scott Tripney, P6, Daniel Farr, P7. These 5 runners from P4 Henriksen to P8 Ivanov were battling the entire length of that race, and it was phenomenal battling. Hardly any pushing and shoving, very patient, very well done. So absolutely congrats to you all. That was brilliant to watch. Josh Peters takes P9, the Australian. Colton Piazza from the United States takes P10. Levi Van Straten takes P11. David Del Cerro, P12. Oliver Fennell, Basic Ollie, P13. Borja Sanchez, P14. Christopher G. Lees, P15. Raul Aguilar, P16. Mohan Ravi, P17. Joaquin Martinez, P18. And we scroll down to the final 2 runners, Albert Enrique, P19, and Ian Purcell, P20. We need to go check on those guys because they were some heavy hits into the barriers. But everyone raced really fantastically throughout the session. So hats off to you all. That was really fun to witness. Okay, we'll take down the race results and let's just go back and have a quick look at what happened here between Ivanov and Henriksen. Okay, so we're coming through the chicane. Oh, absolutely. I think... Oh, it could have even just been Ivanov losing control in that one, actually. Let's just see if we can see some movement or some ricocheting. Yeah, it looks like there's some bouncing. It looks like there's some movement after Henriksen goes through. There's absolutely no blame to lay on Matthias Henriksen there. If anything, it was netcode. If they did touch, or if it was deemed that they had touched, it was absolutely a netcode scenario. No fault on either driver because there was plenty of space. So again, this exemplifies and just highlights this race. Look at them going through there side by side through one of the narrowest parts of the track. And there was absolutely room for both cars to go through. And yeah, car 2, Ivanov, it does seem like there was netcode. It seems like he got shoved by the netcode as they came side by side, as they were kind of converging towards each other. Very lucky there to escape that one. I think that was Scott Tripney or Daniel Farr going through, and very lucky. I think it was Daniel Farr, car 12 going through. Very lucky not to collect Ivanov there. But yeah, that's all good. We won't lay any blame on anyone there. That was just a racing incident. Very unfortunate. But just like I said, just absolutely highlights the skill level that was on display here in this one. So that just about does us for this one, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks again for tuning in. It's been an absolute pleasure to run this race broadcast for you, and we look forward to seeing you on the next time. I'm F1 Gamerdad, and we'll see you on the next broadcast.